it anywhere else. I would have found it. Saw a video of first date with Amelia. And first date with Amelia and Billie Eilish. Love the chemistry. Speaking of sharing your life too often by too many people, what I'm gonna do? I got a surprise for you guys today. We got 2 movies. I am gonna do 3 things today. I'm gonna do Fortnite. I'm gonna do the movies. I'm gonna do anime. We're gonna be doing the movies and then the anime. In between. No, excuse. We're gonna do, if I do movies and anime together, it'll be too much. So we're gonna do Fortnite in between, right? I want to open the door because this is again a problem. So let's freaking go. The 2 movie are what? The 2 movie are, drumroll please, Spree with Steve Harrington, and Cooties with a bunch of actors. A very popular actor. Oh, it's not snowing anymore. You know what's crazy? There's a time where I would have been sad not filming the snow. But I did film the snow, so I guess we'll never know. I guess we'll never know how I feel about it. So yeah, so long story short, I got some super cool stuff. What was it? So we're gonna start with Cooties because I did really enjoy Spree. Cooties was very weird, very special, very odd. I don't judge movie. You know what? Fuck it. Let's do with Spree because well, she has one. You want Spree or you want Cooties before? Both of them are special for their own way. So, what would you like to review first? I'll give you time to answer, and I'll make myself some water. So about that, because I have to. There you go. See, the number of times I look for shit in this apartment is bananas. Because I have to let it sit. Birds of a feather, we should stick together and die. Yeah, it was a nice video. We have a little bit left, so as in French, no throw ya. So we'll start with Cooties. Cooties is a good movie, but it's special. It's very special, right? Because it's a movie that I don't know how I feel about it. Did I like it? Sorta. Did I not like it? Sorta. So, Cootie problem is, if you take away the big actor in it, there's not a lot. Right? So the story is around a guy called Frodo, who is a writer in a town. He's a writer, right? And he go back to his town, he live at his mother's place. So the guy is talking about how he's a writer and that he's really popular, but you realize that no, he wasn't popular. And you realize that he wanted so bad. One of the better moments of the movie is in the very beginning. When he talked about how... we're actually going to do a good critique of the movie. Even if I didn't like it that much, it's going to honor it, right? So, the better part of the movie is, I always talk about this story. Like, hey, the guy bought a boat, but the boat is evil, right? The first scene is him asking his mom, think about it. The second scene, or the third scene, or the fourth scene, I don't know, is him asking his students to read the book and say what they think about. The guy is really desperate to be a writer. It's a kind of crazy thing because we saw Spree just before, and Spree was also that. Spree was also that, you know? And it's kind of crazy because you cannot compare apple and orange, but they were both in their own way similar. They were both good, but they both had flaw. They were both weird, yet inventive in its own way. So, you have Frodo, who brings back, and it's a classic story of, oh, here's my high school sweetheart. I love her so much, right? But then she has a boyfriend, and the boyfriend ends up being Dwight Schrute, assistant to the assistant manager. Oh, no, sorry, assistant to the original manager. It's not assistant to the assistant to the poor boy. Wrong character, same belly. No, Rain is actually much more muscular. So Dwight is the asshole of the campus, and it's a shame because the whole plot resolves around a school. So basically, what happened is, and the first scene, which is actually amazing, the prologue, is we're seeing a sick chicken, and because we have a sick chicken, there's a virus. And again, I love chicken. I do like chicken, but let's be honest here. If there's a virus that's gonna come out, it's gonna be chicken. I guarantee it. I can guarantee it. I know it in my bones. I just wanted to cool down the phone so we can do something else also. So yes, so the town they live in is called Chicken Town, which is crazy because it's funny. And what I like here is that she presents all of the important characters. There's this autistic teacher who is super into his brain but not into anything else. There's a high school sweetheart that has feeling for Frodo. There's Rain, who ends up being an asshole, but a good asshole. Like, he saved the movie. He saves the movie. The character of Frodo, I don't like. I don't like because he ends up being this guy who thinks that he's better than everybody else because he's a writer, but his book sucks. It's like, oh, guess what? It's not great, right? The book itself, the movie itself presents itself as this guy who is super successful, but then you learn that no, he's a teacher, dude. He lied. He failed at everything. So at the same time, it's so weird because the movie itself is very endearing but very weird. Like, I wouldn't watch it again, and that's rare for me to say. So presents himself as this guy who is very self-conscious but very self-assured, and when you realize that he's a teacher, like, why is he pretending to be a writer, right? Why? And there's other things in the movie. For example, one of the scene that you see, and they're playing on it. Oh yeah, so basically, Cootie presents itself as being a movie which emulates Shaun of the Dead, where it's funny, but at the same time, it's for kids. So the virus only affects kids. It's not crazy. The makeup, the visual effects are really good. There's a couple of odd things. There's some really odd things. For example, they cross lines that shouldn't be crossed, and I guess for the sake of humor, I guess it's for the sake of. But they do it to be edgy, but the movie isn't edgy. So, for example, if you took a movie like super edgy, for example, Schindler's List, right? In Schindler's List, there's a character with a red dress. And you realize how important she is because she's the only color in the movie. Right? That's specific, right? Something that's edgy, for example, Taxi Driver, which is a guy that don't sleep. Cootie isn't that. Cootie is this weird mixture between horror, comedy. Also very feel good, but very feel awkward. So, for example, one of the first scenes is you see the kids taking the medication, Adderall, Ritalin, and you don't know what it does, but then for those, like, at the end of the movie when they're stuck, it's like, hey, we want some drugs. Drugs, which is another name for medication. I throw medication around. It's like, hey, have some. And then it works on the zombie. There's a lot of swearing around the kids, and again, it's nice, it's edgy, it's funny. But at the same time, at time, it just feels weird. For example, Rain is going to say things like, fuck those little, no shit. And it's funny, but then there's another part where he's going to say, hey, fuck you. And you're like, why are you talking to a kid like that? You understand that it's made to be funny, but the delivery doesn't feel funny. The delivery feels... Again, and if it makes sense. It makes sense for the character to be pissed off and swearing, and they're not going to make the kid laugh if they're swearing, if they're mad, right? So it does make sense, but still, it's uncomfortable. Also, there's again the cast is amazing, but you have a guy like Hugo from Lost, and Hugo from Lost is in a car, right? And he's really important because, again, he's going to be their way out. He's a car out. He's a safety. He's good. But the whole movie, he ends up being on mushrooms because, He is on mushrooms, and it's a funny thing because there's a lot of moments that we see. For example, gonna be in his car, he's gonna talk to a giraffe, and the giraffe's gonna be like, "Hey," he's gonna tell the giraffe, "Are you high too?" Right? And it does adds a lot when you really analyze a character. You realize that it means a lot. Like for example, him seeing the giraffe means that he's high enough to see the giraffe. Him seeing the kids running around, he possibly thinks that he's hallucinating, right? However, the end result is not there. So he ends up saving them, and like, okay, cool, he saved them. But at the same time, any other car would have done the job. Any other car, you know? People left their car. By the way, just by the way, how did you guys get in, right? And at the end, which car would you end up using? Would you end up using the truck of Ray Wilson? There's a joke where he shows up as being a fucking bully. So the new guy, which is Frodo, comes in, and they're talking, and he has a problem saying double barrel wheel in the back, and it's meaningful, but it's only meaningful for a joke. So you spend so much time explaining the joke, you spend so much time setting up the joke, but it doesn't serve purposes. And the movie feels like that the whole time. So it's a really good movie. It's a bit awkward. Having kids with the zombie virus is kind of good. One of my favorite movie was Parents with Nicolas Cage, which is basically kind of similar. So the parents are getting a virus. They mean that they're attacking their kids, and their kid has to survive their parents. But then the grandparents are also parents, so the grandparents attack the parents. So it's a really clever thing, right? But then we have Spree, which is the movie with Steve Harrington. This I'm really excited about. I'm really excited to talk about because we're gonna take our time on it. We're gonna take a shit ton of time on it. Give me a sec. My apologies. Okay, good. Nice. And also, as a just a little something on the side, right? You guys, I told you guys that we're getting like two share in the DMs, share live in the same live and the same thing. I feel like they think I'm gonna run. Oh my god, hurry, dude, go now. I'm like, dude, no, no, dude, no, no. And it's just bugging me because they're coming every day. Hey, come to the live, come to the live, come to the live, come to the live. I was going before you told me you harassed me to go. Now, the more you ask me, the more I don't want to. I want this. I want to go every day. I go once a week, and even then, I'm like, ugh. Oh, that's pretty much it. La 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 la. Then la la la. There you go. Perfect. Got distracted. So Spree is a really fucking good movie. So it's a weird movie, but it's such a good movie. It does such a good job. It's Steve Harrington, right? Which is what's his name? Kurt's World, right? And Kurt's World, and he's a kid that wants to be on social media, and it's so fucking cool because it presents itself in a very there was so many movies from like that back then. So it started with the Blair Witch Project, which is kind of a person following and filming, right? Spree ends up doing a better job because the character of Steve Harrington wants to be in the he wants to be so much in the what do we call it, a social media star. He ends up having a lot of cameras around, and it feels like he's filming on GoPro, so it's actually pretty cool. The movie itself is insanely good, but at the same time, it's another movie that I wouldn't watch again. So basically, that's the plot, right? He wants to be on social media, and you see him trying, and it's so weird because Steve Harrington charisma ends up being freaking there. He ends up being super charismatic, and as a cast choice, I think he's amazing because he's a great actor. I would have taken somebody else. Because and I never talk about the actor. I never talk about casting choice. It was my first time, but it's such a meaningful film. It was so important. It made me think a lot. I'm telling you, Spree was a really good experience. It was really thoughtful. I did less work today because I was thinking about Spree. I'm not even kidding. Yes, I would have taken somebody that's more awkward. I would have taken a character like the guy from Kick-Ass. I would take somebody like Michael Cera, to be honest, because they're awkward as fuck, right? So because it's Steve Harrington, you kind of believe it less because the guy is so charismatic. But the ending of Kurt's World is the guy is a failure. He's trying to do he's trying to do some social media, and I gotta say, the biggest issue with Spree is the biggest thing with Spree. It's the freaking flaw is the best thing with Spree. So Spree biggest thing is at the time. So the time there was challenges like Draw My Life, and there's a segment of Draw My Life in there. You learn a lot, and then even then you don't learn that much because you don't know the father is he cheated on his mom and he's an asshole, and yeah, it's kind of super cool. It's kind of super cool. So then he does this, and it's kind of cool. The prologue is amazing. The prologue is fucking phenomenal. The prologue is that you see him trying, and then he's like, you know what? I give up. I don't know what to do. I don't know why I want to do it. And as a content creator, we've been there. We've been there. I've been there. I've been in a place where I wanted to give up. I've been in a place where I was wondering what's the next step. I was in a place where I didn't know my next move. And that was super tough. That was super tough because, I think we all been there. So as a content creator, I put myself in the shoes of, hey, I relate to that. However, I understand that not everybody will relate to that. So this is a bit of another problem, but it's a very small problem, right? What else? The movie itself, also, the filming is amazing. The filming is so fucking good. It's so fucking good. Because you're in a position where you're like, I'm really... It's weird. It's weird because it's very internet. It's very internet. It's very vlog. If you've watched vlog and if you watch YouTube videos, it feels like that. And again, the content changed nowadays. It's more live. It's more, So it's very like that. And even then, the character of Steve Harrington is so impressive. Kurt is so fucking amazing because they'll say things like, for example, there's another person that does content, right? And he said, hey, you need consistency. You need to be there. You need to do this. This is the first rule. Come on. The guy is obsessed with social media, which is also something I relate to. My issue with Spree and why was it so good for me is that it's coming from a content creator perspective. And it's just so fucking good. So he's talking about how he has a friend. And then the whole movie makes sense. The whole movie is fucking phenomenal. So, for example, he's having some money problem because his content isn't working. And again, this is why Steve Harrington is not a good choice because he got so much charisma that you don't know why it's not working, right? So he has this friend, which is I think it's Brian, but I'm not sure. And Brian is this really successful guy, but Brian's an asshole. Brian's a fucking asshole. He is everything that's wrong with social media. He fakes video. He does some drama. He is everything wrong, right? But he's pretty successful. And he told Steve, like, yo, dude, I'm going to help you out. And Steve, like, oh my God, wow, thank you, dude. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work because Steve is boring. He doesn't have content. So Brian tells him, like, dude, you don't have personality. You don't have what it takes to be a social content creator. Some are made for it, some are not made for it. And again, as a content creator, I relate to that. I agree with that. Sometimes I feel like I'm not meant to do this, right? Sometimes I feel like I'm the shit. I was very sad this morning. Very sad. Because I was in a bad mood. Because I overslept. I had problem with the phones because I overworked. And instead of doing videos I can upload on YouTube, I did too long a video. So I need to edit down. Because I need to edit down, I don't always have the time to edit down because it takes a lot of time. So yesterday I didn't have any storage. And long story short, right? I didn't have storage, so I go in and I kind of film, so I sleep. I sleep for too long, and I'm pissed because I missed a day of work, right? And then I'm seeing my DMs, and it's people that say, "Hey, go to the live," right? I'm like, "Fuck that, bro." After that, it's just feeling like shit, feeling like social is not for fun, It's not pleasure. It's business, sadly. And I don't want it to be business. I want it to be pleasure, right? I know it's a lot to ask, but fuck, a man can dream. Where's my? don't know. Oh, we're gonna have to clean the apartment again. We did good though. We cleaned it twice this week, so we're getting there. So go back to the movie. I was in a mood of I don't feel like making content today. I don't feel like making content, but I watched Spree and I was like, holy shit. And in the character of Spree, there's this desperation, which is really cool. And you can see that he's using all technique. It feels like you're throwing back. It feels like Spree feels like a time capsule. Absolutely. It embodies, it encapsulated everything so well, right? So it goes to, now that he doesn't have money, he wants to quit. And this is a beautiful thing because this is the end of the intro. And it's just so fucking nice. Because he said, you know what? I'm going to do Spree. Now, Spree itself is made to be Uber. It's the same thing, right? It's meant to be Uber, but there's possibly some legal issue where they couldn't have used the word Uber. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to make content. I'm going to be on the road 100% of the time of the day. And I'm going to be able to make a content the whole time of the day. And I'm going to have my passengers that's going to be guests. It's going to be fun, right? And then that's a crazy thing. So you see he goes fucking nuts, right? So he wants more. He wants to do like Brian. So he actually puts drugs in the bottle of water, right? And there's a video which says how to do it. So, for example, taking the air bubbles out. And it's so cool because later on, this is something that's very, very important, which is the movie is well made. Cooties was poorly made with a good story. Spree is well made with a good story. Cootie's story was great. It's a great story. So he drugs people and he puts them in his trunk in his car and he just, right? He's like, dude, how am I not viral yet? I have 7 people. You know, I did 7 people. And then it's kind of crazy because by doing Spree, he meets this girl, which is Jessica Summers, I think. I'm not sure. And she's a comedian and she's popping and she's really, 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 really successful. And she goes in and she is everything that he wants to be, right? And then he becomes obsessed with her because this is my chance. Like, please shout me out. Please shout me out. Please shout me out. Please shout me out. Right? Which is also super important. And it's amazing. And you know the craziest thing? The movie is so clever because you feel bad for the people because they're innocent victim. But every single people they pick up are dudes. Like the first one's a member of the KK. So like that. And the second one is a douchebag. He's trying to flirt. He's misogynist. He said bad stuff. They're 2 bad people, right? And Hershey comes in and she's like, dude, get me out of the car. The guy is an asshole. And Steve Harrington's like, dude, this is my chance to be famous if she tags me, right? So then the father calls him. The father is calling him. And the father is like a good character, but you don't know. So the way they present the father as a good character is Kurt Schwerl. He makes some hats. And his father is supportive. Then you realize his father is a DJ too. There's a scene at the end which is fucking bone chilling. It's bone chilling, dude. It's amazing. Holy shit, we're getting so much cash bonus and 2. This is insane. Holy shit, dude. Cash per bonus. Cash per wave. Wow. That's gonna go fast. And we got project funding, so we're good. So yeah, how can I put this? It's just amazing. Just fantastic. It's fantastic in a lot of ways because the movie itself, the whole movie, you're kind of wondering what's the purpose of the movie. There's time in the movie where it just feels long. You're like, I don't know if I like the movie or not. But then when it finished, you're like, holy shit. Because at the end, Jessie Smile, which does her show, she's going to say something. I'm not doing it in proper order because there's 2 different endings. Which there's one ending, but there's 2 different roads leading to the ending. So Jessie, she's talking about how she saw this guy, which was again Kurtz or Steve Harrington, and she was like, "Holy shit, dude! Holy fucking shit! This guy was so pathetic, asking for likes and views and shit like that." And then she's like, "But I'm no better. My catchphrase is all eyes on me. I'm as thirsty for views as he is, and this is why I'm leaving social media because you see how damaging this is, right?" So then he's like, oh, fuck, dude. And it breaks his heart. It breaks his heart, you know? And then the father, the whole day he's texting him. And the father, we know that he's supportive, but because of his joyous life, the dad isn't around much, right? The dad is not super nice. For example, the mom raised him. The dad wasn't around a lot. the dad, he does drugs. So you realize that that's not the right order. I'm spoiling. Sorry. The daddy tells him like, look, dude, this is insane. This is insane, bro. There's this person in the club, right? And she wants to. I can get you to meet her. If she thinks it's gonna be huge for you, and she realized that she's I don't know what she is. I don't know if she's Korean, Chinese, Tailandese, Taiwanese. And she's Japanese. I don't know. Right? Is she Korean? I don't know. So basically what's happened is, she's like, she sees the guy and she doesn't care. She's like, oh yeah. And he puts a camera in her face and now she's trying to act nice. So again, how things change, right? Which is fantastic. And he ends up drugging her, right? With a bottle of water. It's like, holy shit, I drugged her, bro. I didn't want to drug her. But then, because she wakes up in a panic, and he gets arrested because there's blood in his fucking car. And they're talking about his car, right? And she, in a panic, she wakes up and she has a gun that he had. He had a gun hidden, which is from Brian. So Brian, he comes in, it's like, yo, dude, please host me. Like, no, I don't want to do it, dude. You're a loser. So he picks up the gun, right? And long story short, he ends up running away, going to the show. And it's kind of cool because the father is a fucking dickhead. The drug that he found was there, and it was his. So when he did that, when he took the drugs, that was from his father. So it is meant to be like, hey, because the father's such a fuck up because he had access to he did. I don't believe it because the character of Kurt, you just see him as this obsessed dude, and he would have found a way no matter what, right? So at the end, there's a very bone-chilling scene. So with a Jessie speech, which is like, okay, well, I'm running for views, I'm running for things, so kind of similar. And she goes in, and she goes to his house, and the father's like, who the fuck are you? And you see the mom that's dead. He's like, did you do that? Did you kill my and he's like, dude, you were supposed to be there for my son. You were supposed to tag me. And he was supposed to tag me. So the father was also after that. He was also after fame, views, content, subscriber. So it's kind of crazy. And then you got the two kids, the two people in front of her. So Jessie ends up being one of the main characters. The sad thing is, it's kind of like a Vanilla situation, right? So yeah, so just a good movie. And at the end, you see Jessie that really does well. She goes everywhere. She gets interviewed by everybody. So it's kind of fucking cool. It is really cool. And that is the movie. Ugh, that's pretty much it. So Spree was fucking fantastic. And it made you feel, because yes, Steve is obsessed. Steve is going through everything and anything to just do that. But then he's very endearing because you kind of root for him. Even though what he's doing is wrong, you root for him because he wants it that bad, you know? And yeah, and it's kind of crazy because as the movie goes on, you see him becoming more and more crazy, right? So, for example, you're gonna have the Korean DJ or the influencer, I don't know, and she comes in and she's like, "Hey, I want this," right? So he orders food, and he's on the highway, and he's like, "Hey, you guys are seeing this? You guys are seeing this? Are you guys seeing this? I'm so cool." And he eats the food, and it's really cool because you feel like this is normal. So it's a really good movie. I would recommend this more than Cooties. Cooties just feels like a movie that was made by people that enjoy movie like that, but didn't know really what they were doing. 58. Let's go. 58. Yes. 58. Yes. Good. So you see the last comments we had, right? So Lauren, she brought a friend, right? And that other friend was a troll. And I think she's a troll. Should I block? I don't know. I do not know. I don't know. Wait a second. Maybe I missed a message. Maybe I missed a message. Maybe I did. Maybe I did. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Now, I know we finished our talk, but I just wanted to go back on the importance of the Sword, getting project funding. So the Sword is at the level we're doing again at 6 with the 4,200, where it's kind of risky because I'm using all my cash to upgrade my health. If there's no health, I'm a glass cannon. So now we're going to be pushing because technically speaking, what I do is I'll push to effects. So, like for example, crown. Protect founding isn't that great for shield, for sword. For crown, it's amazing because for crown, what we're doing is, for example, right? Per crown, no matter what, I'll have bolt of attack, attack, stab, fully golden. The attack upgrade fully golden. The defense fully golden. We have some left, but I would at 800, so that doesn't really count, right? And we'll see how it goes. Oh, Iraq, laying down.
I'm sorry for.
Yeah, so there you go. So sorry, texting somebody. So the crown, no matter what I do, I'll get more health. I'll get the whole thing, right? Now, what also is going to be the issues is that with sword, protect founding is such a risk because I'm